Hey Alberto, how's it going? Um, I guess a few things. I guess one, you said for the upper back row to, basically almost like I'm reaching out, I guess, to get more of a stretch in those lats. Um, but still, you want a bit of a like retracted scapula, right? Because I think last time you were saying to kind of still keep a little bit of like a retracted scapula versus like just letting the shoulders kind of round forward. So I guess so. I was trying to do both, where I was like kind of like retracting my scapula slightly, but also making sure that I was almost like reaching out so I can get more of a lat stretch. Let me know if that looked better what I sent you. The next one is for the VMO. I know you were saying that I was almost like sitting back into my hips versus on top of the hips. So I think what I did was that I basically let my knees come forward more, and it was less like rotating my knees outward, and more like keeping my knees a little bit more forward. Which was actually fine. I think the reason why I was avoiding that was I was scared it was going to hurt my knees, but it felt fine. But then again, I guess I'm going to defer to you whether you think that VMO actually does look better now. It was definitely more difficult. I felt more in my quads, so it felt better. But you know, let's see. My Smith machine squat, I think that was the best depth I've ever achieved on the Smith machine squat. The only complaint that I have on that is I wish my pause was more strict. I think getting the pauses for a real, because I think it says 2 to 3 second pause, but I mean, when you see that, like, I definitely paused, like, I could feel the pause and you could see the pause, but it's definitely not 2 to 3 seconds. It's like a fraction of a second. I mean, it's enough where I'm cutting the momentum out for the most part, but yeah, I think with the squat it's more difficult. Like if you see my leg press, like the hip dominant leg press, like I think especially on my right leg, it is definitely 2 to 3 seconds. Like there's a clear pause there, and I kind of want to be able to get to that point where I am pausing my Smith machine squat at like a real 2 to 3 seconds. So maybe I'll do something like a 6 count in my head, just because those seconds go by very quickly. I think just when the weight's on top of you. And I guess related to the hip dominant leg press, I noticed that my left leg is, by the way, that hip issue that I had with it, like completely cleared up. So I think it was just a new movement. But one thing I did notice is that my left leg is considerably weaker than my right leg at that movement. To the point where, like, for example, I'm using 2 plates, and it's hard on my left leg to do that with 2 plates. On my right leg, I mean, it's still somewhat of a challenge, but it's considerably easier. I don't know. I guess just with time, just like keeping it at the 2 plates until like it's a closer difficulty on both of my legs, I guess is kind of what I'm doing. Maybe there's some kind of muscle imbalance there. I mean, you can even see it in the form. My pauses are cleaner on the right leg just because it is easier on my right leg. The last question is, oh yeah, so it's actually next week that I'm going on vacation. I mean, is it? I know you said to keep the program about the same, which I will be keeping it very similar. But like, I mean, is it bad if, like, for example, instead of like the Swift machine leg press, if they have a pendulum? I mean, they definitely have a pendulum squat, but if they have like a pendulum or a Cybex hack squat there, if I do that instead, or is that just too different of a movement and it's just gonna beat me up? So I should just stick with, if they have a Smith machine leg press, just do the Smith machine, Smith machine squat as I normally do. Or like, can I mess around? As long as I'm hitting like a similar like reps in reserve or something like that. I mean, is it going to be similar stimulus, or doing the pendulum is just a different enough movement where I'll be beating myself up too much and it's just going to be negatively impacting my gains for the week. Yeah, that's about it.